celebrities just are totally out of control. Oh my goodness. Lots going on with celebrities behaving badly. For today's talk, joining us on the couch is our old buddy, psychologist and family therapist, Dr. Paul Hokemeyer. It's good to see you again.
Thanks. Good to be back.
All right, Paul, so let's start with all this trouble with Alec Baldwin. He was allegedly riding his bike, I should say, the wrong way on 5th Avenue. So he gets pulled over in a sense, and now instead of just being warned, he gets a summons, he gets ticketed, he gets arrested. Was it because he was being belligerent, or what?
I think so. I mean, I think typically what happens is when you get pulled over by a cop, recognize that they're in charge. They're the authority here. They're charged with making the rules, and listen to what they say and be respectful towards policemen.
What's wrong with this guy?
Yeah, some deeper issues here, maybe?
You know, it's hard to say. Clearly he was angry. Clearly it's frustrating. Nobody wants to get pulled over. He didn't have his driver's license, apparently, so I'm sure he was mad at himself. Typically, when somebody gets really angry at themselves, they take it out at the person who's in front of them. Yeah. And I think that's just what happened.
Now, he has a young child at home, him and his wife.
Family, sure.
I mean, should he be acting in a different light? I mean, he also posted and took to Twitter and released the badge number, and he gets, I mean, is that something he should be doing, or should he kind of back it off and lay low?
My advice would be to back off, to kind of chill out a little bit. You know, it's hard, but basically we need to manage our emotions. We need to do a better job of managing our emotions.
Yeah, actually, we do have the Twitter messages up here. As you can see, New York City is a mismanaged carnival of stupidity that is desperate for revenue and anxious to criminalize behavior once thought benign.
So the social media aspect of this, I think, is fascinating because he gets so upset with people that what they say on social media, but yet he doesn't hold himself to the same standard. Right. And obviously, I mean, we're all saying should he, should he, should he? The answer is no, he shouldn't, because this hasn't helped him. How does he get help?
Well, you know, first of all, he has to get some insight into his issues. And I think most people who are very successful, like Alec Baldwin, who's a very talented professional, who's a celebrity, have what we call poor impulse control. They have a hard time managing their impulses. And so when they feel anger, they feel like they have this license to express it in a very active way. And so I think it's recognizing that, yes, you are a celebrity, you are important, you're very talented, but you also exist as part of a humanity and part of a community, and there are rules that you need to follow. So
do you think maybe anger management therapy would be something he could benefit from?
I think we could all benefit from anger.
Kind of the business. Well, also, they're surrounded by people that only, highlight their best and are afraid to talk.
That's right. We call those people enablers, and so they basically enable the bad behavior, that they basically are afraid to tell them, you know, it's like they're afraid to say that the emperor doesn't have any clothes. And so celebrities in particular, need people in their life who can be honest with them and tell them what they need to hear.
Big article in New York Magazine last week about celebrities that pay to have friends. Yeah. They have friends on the payroll because they can't trust anybody. So it's a different kind of world.
Whole different world,
it's a whole different world.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little about this family going a little over the edge. It's a big feud we've been seeing all over and over again in the video. We have it for you. Beyonce with Jay-Z in the elevator, and the sister-in-law, Solange. You can see her here clearly kicking, fighting, hitting Jay-Z. So what was going on? I mean, obviously it was a very tense triangle. Beyonce just kind of stood back from it all. So what can we really learn about Beyonce's reaction here? She kind of just stood quietly, kept her distance, didn't push him off of her off of him. I mean, what does that really say about this type of behavior?
Well, I have to say that I give Beyonce a lot of credit. I mean, typically...
You do?
I do. Because basically she didn't step in and she didn't escalate the situation. When there's violence, when somebody's out of control, when somebody's so what we call emotionally unregulated, where their emotions are all over the place, by somebody stepping in and activating it is just going to escalate the situation. What Beyonce did, I thought quite effectively, was de-escalate the situation. Yeah. She didn't get engaged. She said, you know what, I'm not going to engage in this level of anger and violence. And given the situation, given that they were in such a close quarter, I think that's pretty extraordinary.
Could it be possible she was really that mad, so mad that she just held it all in?
You know, listen, anything's possible. Nobody really knows what happened, and we saw what happened. But I mean, yeah, but I also think that she's, you know, Beyonce is a consummate professional. She's extraordinarily talented, and she's very good at containing herself and controlling her emotions. She has to be and able to be as successful as she is in the world.
But what about this behavior? This behavior is unacceptable.
Anytime there's violence in the family, it's unacceptable. I think what's important about this situation, again, is in the context of celebrity. Typically when we think of domestic violence, we think of blue-collar families. We think of working-class people. Here's a profoundly successful, probably one of the most successful families in the world.
Planet.
In the planet. And we have this tension, this drama, this violence in the family. So I think it tells us that just because you're a celebrity, just because you're rich, doesn't mean that you don't have
problems.
You don't have problems.
It made me feel better knowing that there's other dysfunctional families out there.
Right, exactly. So it's important for us to recognize that this crosses all socioeconomic backgrounds, and that, again, just because you're a celebrity doesn't mean that you live a trouble-free life. Actually, it's quite the opposite many times.
So Jay-Z and Solange were spotted buying jewelry together. You think this is, you know, a PR stunt, or what do they need to do to repair their relationship?
It looks like they're doing it. I mean, the fact that they're out sort of spending time together, I think, speaks volumes of their ability to be conciliatory, to come together, to try to repair what was obviously a clear breach in their relationship. So I think that I would encourage them not to try to spend their way out of this. That you know, we don't need to buy affection here.
Let's do the work.
Let's do the work. Right. Let's exactly talk about what happened.
Well, I like what you say. Celebrities are not immune from the rules that we all need to live by. Good to see you again.
Great to be
This
here.
is the sharpest dressed psychologist.
I know. Did you notice his shoes?
Yeah, oh my gosh, Dr. Paul Hokemeyer. Yeah, thanks for being with us. He just got back from overseas buying shoes. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Thanks.